Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We are going to zoom in and we're going to focus in on the self-righteous narcissist. The narcissist who must always be right and someone else always have to be wrong. Not only are they opinionated, they take shelter and refuge in the fact that they feel that their opinions, their experiences, their values are more important than anyone else's, and that they need to give an indignation to others when others are communicating their values, their position, their feelings. So they're not very interactive when it comes to discussing and open. They're very, what we're going to call adversarial. They're going to be adverse, meaning really trying to be contradictory to you, combative, adversarial, trying to put you down in a place where the sun does not shine. And this is the sort of motive of the self-righteous narcissist. And before we begin, I want to give a huge shout out to those of you who have recently donated to the Peace and Harmony channel, especially my international viewers, those of you who are in different time frames and in different areas. I really appreciate your support of the channel. It means so much to me, and I'm so pleased that we're able to provide this valuable content to you. So thank you so much for your donations. No matter what the amount, it really means so much. It helps keep the channel alive. Love you so much. Thank you once again. And I really want to dive in on this because this topic with a self-righteous narcissist, because I think it has so much to do with the wounding at many levels. Now, when we talk about psychological wounding, emotional hurts, or relationship problems, oftentimes it's because of a lack of communication, it's a lack of validation, it's a lack of respect, and there is some pathology present. There is some dysfunction. Pathology meaning there's a disease. There's something that is not within the normal sort of process in terms of the thought patterns, the emotional feelings, the way that things are communicated, and then therefore, rolling down, flowing down into the behaviors. So realize that the stem of all of our emotions and our behaviors and our thoughts really comes from the top down, from our self-belief and what we believe about ourselves. And then that ripples forth into life, and it causes us then to create and go places where, based on that self-belief, based on that origination, or based from the source. And realize that a narcissist oftentimes has the belief that they are right, that they are righteous, that they are very much kind of on a pedestal, and everyone else then is to the opposition of that or to the contrary. And so they furthermore will elevate themselves by pushing other people down. And so it's not that they're able to communicate on the same level, it's that they are not. They come and approach relationships, issues, almost looking for a fight, looking for a point of contention, looking for a point to make a sticking point, to be a stickler, to be controlling, that they want to control the outcome of the relationship without allowing the relationship to naturally flourish and exist and be in the natural organic sense that it is, because relationships are organic, they are natural, they have an ebb and flow, they have a relationship between emotions, which is energy and motion. And emotions really are what motivate us to feel specific ways, to experience certain things. That is in the motivation of the relationship. And oftentimes the source or self-belief of the narcissist is that they are more important than others. They have a heightened sense of self-superiority, and oftentimes it is not based on actual facts or evidence or any sort of concrete reasoning. It just is something that is fostered or developed kind of pathologically within themselves, so they become very adversarial to others. And really combative, and some people I think might be attracted to this in mild forms, in relationships when there's kind of the joking or the jabbing going on. And, that's just kind of like on the surface, there are, that it can be kind of a playful sort of part of the relationship. But then as you get to know the narcissist, this can run very deep, and the jabs become gouges, and the gouges become, really wounds, and then the wounds become chasms, and then the chasms create a gulf, and then the gulf creates a wall, and then the wall furthermore solidifies in the hurt that has been, placed in you, and then that becomes more isolating. So as you can see, the downward motion of this sort of energetic wound within you is very dysfunctional, is very caustic, and it can be very disabling. And disabling because if you have a belief in your mindset that there is something about you that is inherently wrong, flawed, not moving energetically, not healthy, not right, not perfect, according to what is mirrored back to you from this narcissist, then you are going to permeate your entire being with this sort of information. So if you feel this way subconsciously, and remember, the subconscious runs over 98% of our functions. So you are not telling the cells in your arm to metabolize the glucose, to metabolize the proteins, to create energy, and to create harmony with the rest of your muscles. That is done automatically. That is, based on cellular metabolism, and really that is all fueled by the subconscious mind. That is helping to run and organize a lot of that. So if the source of, you in the relationship is that you are wrong, you're an adversary, you have to be combative, you have to fight, then you are going to have struggle imbued in the DNA and in the motion and the energy and all the thoughts, and then your self-belief is all going to trickle down into your emotional being, your physical being, your psychological being, all those different layers and levels of the I am. Yet it is the spirit inside that is pure. And it is that is really kind of calling out to say, what, there is something wrong here. I cannot go on. So that kind of inner guidance is what's kind of like the wake-up call. The wake-up call is that you found this person cheating. The wake-up call is that you found this person emptied out your bank account. The wake-up call is that you find out that, this person is texting behind your back. The wake-up call is that this person, has, separate cell phones. The wake-up call is that this person is not, taking you on vacations or doing fun things for you, or not having date nights, or you're not doing, the relationship isn't progressing. The wake-up call is that you're feeling stressed. The wake-up call is that you're overly burdened and unhappy and the relationship is not working. And then, as you can see, the stemming down from that self-belief is really what's trying to cry out and be attended to for congruence, meaning honoring that within yourself. And so the self-righteous narcissist is going to be the one who's always combative, making you feel adversarial, and then making you feel like you have to react, combat, explain, and justify yourself. And so if that is the case, I want you to stop that immediately. I want you to stop the behavior of explaining and justifying yourself. You don't need to constantly be in defense. Defending yourself, I have to do this, I have to do that, trying to always protect yourself and explain and justify why, you're living, why you need peace, why you need quiet, why you need respect, why you need to be yelled at, why you don't want to fight. You don't need to get caught up in any more time or energy trying to fight and struggle and be unhappy and explain and justify yourself, your position, because for some reason, the covert narcissist has an insatiable need to be in control. They have an insatiable need to be in power, to be inflicting that sort of reaction. So they're always looking for a reaction. And so they are always very other focused. And it's not, allowing you to be yourself, which you have to ultimately be yourself in sincerity in relationships. You have to be emotionally naked at some point, or it's just not going to work. The walls are eventually going to have to come down. the defense mechanisms are going to have to come down. Eventually, the seams are going to rip, and the relationship, you're going to need to change something. You're going to need to get intervention, or you're just going to need to part ways in the relationship. It's eventually going to get there. So what I would encourage you is to identify this pattern in the relationship. See if it's then, presenting a lot of dysfunction, and to furthermore disembark from this sort of explaining and justifying behavior that you have been patterned now, in order to flow into the narcissist needs, for their need to be right and to prove everybody else wrong. It is really based on a sense of inferiority and insecurity that is really kind of at the bottom layer of the causation of that sort of behavior and combativeness in relationships. It's peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.